Youngerman, also known as Bill, who owns William Youngerman Inc., and his company is here in Boca Raton. John, you're in New York. What city? Is it New York?
Long Island, right on
Long
the
Island.
Yeah.
He's on the island.
Yep.
So, honestly, we spoke before the show, and we need like 3 hours to talk about everything that these gentlemen bring to the table. We're going to primarily talk about gold and silver. Bill deals in many different things. He deals in currencies and coins and gold, silver, any kind of metal, and I believe jewelry as well.
Yes.
He deals with hard assets, and we're going to kind of delineate some of these things for you tonight. So, John, why don't we start with you, and you let us know a little bit about what electro-alloy recovery is and kind of how sort of
the difference between the two. We're both precious metal people, absolutely.
Right, because there is a difference, but their businesses segue so perfectly together. And I want to let you start.
Take that, push it over here, so we can so the people can see that in front. There you go. There, one
Folks,
more and the silver. Put it up there. That's the real.
Stuff.
That is the real McCoy.
Wait. These are real, folks.
Yeah.
Like we're talking. This is real silver. It feels like it. No, I don't want to do that. And real gold coins.
And gold is soft. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I have depending upon what.
I have had many times taken gold bars, and I have dropped them, and sure enough, I had to put them back in the furnace remelted because they bent. I mean, you know, they are that they'll bent very soft.
Right.
But anyway, my company, I do the actual refining of precious metals. So in Bill's case, they will come and they might want to, sell their jewelry to him. Okay.
Right.
So he will accumulate that, get up a certain amount, and then decide, I better, I need some cash or I need some gold. I'll send it to a refiner like myself, and I will actually take it, melt it, take samples of that, give Bill his sample. I'll have my sample. That bar comes out. We then analyze that sample, okay, to determine the precious metals that are in it: gold, silver, platinum, rhodium, iridium, whatever. Osmium, it doesn't matter. Once we are satisfied that the assay is fine, okay, then I'll pay Bill right away. Or if Bill wants, he can take his metal back, store it wherever he wants. That's perfectly okay. Either he has a choice. Then from that point, I then take the metals, and of course I will accumulate it and do 500,000 ounce batches of gold, silver, platinum, palladium.
And you put them in like bars.
Right, we actually
like you
do
guys have the 1 ounce.
Actually, gold and silver will be in bar form. Okay, platinum and palladium will be in powdered form because that is the way the customers want. 90% of my business is electronic. Anything that comes out of a cell phone, or all these computers, these money, everything that's got precious metals in it, a lot to do with the government stuff, military, Raytheon, Honeywell, all those people.
So what do? They send you their stuff?
Yeah, it's rejected. There are electronic companies that manufacture products, okay? All the circuitry that goes into missiles, airplanes, all that kind of stuff, okay? That has an approximate 25 to 30% rejection rate right off the floor. Okay, it goes right on. Okay, and there's amazing products. It's an amazing process to watch a product get made. Okay, I mean, gold ink they call it, and they have to put it on a silk screen and sprint the circuit, and they put gold wire bonding and all that goes in. And then when it gets failed, reject, it goes into a box or a barrel.
And that box or barrel goes to you.
Goes to me, right. I'll get it in 55-gallon drums, printed circuit boards, 55-gallon drums, truckloads of this stuff.
And you just separate it out and melt it down and pull out the different metals.
Exactly. That's what I do. Now, in Bill's case, okay, which is fabulous. I love this man. I think he's absolutely fabulous because I want to divulge this now, okay? When I first came here, okay, I went around to see who was where you could get a fair deal, okay? And there was people out there that was not so nice, and they're not going to give you what it's worth. And when I went to Bill's place and act like a dope, I didn't know 14 karat from 18 or gold or silver from anything. Let me tell you something. His crew over there, both of them, John and Dave, okay, awesome. Just awesome knowledge, the whole bit. The most patient people I've met. They will listen. They will just they're awesome.
And they answered any questions that you might have had and explained
I
things
wouldn't trust.
to you.
A matter of fact, I'll be back to Bill's place to purchase coins, because that's what he does, and anything
Right.
else that I think that I need at the
Right.
time.
Well, what's very cool is you've been in business for over 50 years, so you know your stuff. That's the reason that you guys vibe, is because you've both been doing these businesses for so long, and you've seen so many different trends, and you have this lovely saying. And what's your saying, John, about trends? And
Current events lead to
Uh-huh.
future trends. Okay, so if you want to know why you need precious metals in your portfolio, okay, and what I mean by portfolio, when it comes to precious metal hard assets in your hand, okay, you don't want someone else holding this, and Bill will explain that. Current events lead to future trends, okay? All you got to do is just listen, people. What's going on out there in the world?
it's the global,
Okay,
global
what's
landscape.
going on out there? Okay, the dollar is the last horse in the slaughterhouse. And once the jig is up, that dollar value is going to start coming down, down, down. So you're going to need more of them to purchase something. So while the dollar comes down, precious metals go up, and then vice versa. And you can watch that every single day. You should make it a game. What is gold and silver doing today? What is it doing today? What is it doing today? We'll be back, and I'm going to tell you, right after gold goes to $1,450, $1,475. Today it's the $1,297. Say 13. Let's just round up to
Well, just
13.
$1,300
And
an
silver
ounce.
is about $1,520, $1,530 an ounce. Okay, so we have that on record. We can go back in time, but watch what's going to happen very, very
So
shortly.
really, what we discussed before this show, folks, is that you can have a portfolio, and I'm not a big person for the stock market unless you really know what you're doing and you have some idea of what's actually going to go up or down, catch it on the downside. But I think that what these gentlemen bring to the table is that value in hard assets. And I think that everyone needs to have that in their safe. You just need to have it, or stored at the bank, or wherever you gentlemen would like to lead them to store their hard assets. I think it's really
Okay,
incredibly
can I just
important.
say this?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
and Bill,
Please, yeah.
correct me if I am wrong, okay? But if you take your precious metals there and put it in a bank safety deposit box, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If the bank runs into a problem, there will be a federal agent standing in front of in front of the safety deposit box. You go in, I need to get my He will
Right.
go in with you.
Right.
Okay? Precious metals is illegal to have in a bank. Cash is illegal in the bank. The guard standing, that federal agent, he actually will determine what you can take and what they're going to confiscate. But I do know for a fact, precious metals
So-
and cash, they'll be right there, open it up. Oh,
So
look at all this.
no
Yeah.
cash, no precious
Oh,
metals.
and no weapons. God
And
forbid
no
you have a gun in
weapons
it. Yeah, don't put
stored
that in,
in
there. Right.
your lockbox at the bank. Do not store those. They need to be stored at home in a safe, preferably a fireproof safe, one that weighs a couple thousand pounds. Yeah, so it's not movable.
I did. Now, a lot of people say I can't. I was on another show back in Long Island, and I literally came in and put $1 million of gold bars in a shoebox. So, you can hide your precious metals at home
Yeah.
someplace instead
Yeah.
of putting it someplace. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but just
And I
keep
don't
them,
One thing
keep
about
them at
gold is
home.
you can bury it. You can
True.
bury gold for 5,000 years and it still comes out of the ground. I mean,
It's still gonna be
beautiful.
gold.
They bring up coins from the shipwrecks off the coast here from 1715, and the coins are like the day they were made. Now, one exception to what you're saying about that, and that is in the banks, we do sometimes advise people to put their gold in a safety deposit box, providing the bank has some kind of stability
Provision.
to it. Not
Okay.
just any. And you have to be aware of what's going on. If you're not aware of what's going on, then you're better off burying it. But if you're aware of what's going on, there's usually, like you said, there's enough trends, there's enough things going on in our system, smoke, let's call it,
Right.
to say, hey, you know what, where there's smoke, there's going to be
There's
fire.
fire.
I'm getting it out of the bank.
Good
you know.
point.
And I don't foresee in a short term, the banks closing the door and federal agents being there with their guns but But in the worst case scenario, that can't happen. Certainly don't put cash in your safety deposit boxes.
Obviously.
That's totally against the law.
Right.
Collectibles do come under a different category, so you can classify your gold coins under a collectible heading.
Right.
And we have ways of helping you do that and still be buying gold and silver for gold and silver value.
Okay.
And so that's another thing to think of. We are in the Bank of America. Our offices are right across the lobby from the Bank of America. And for security purposes, a lot of times we advise people, open an account with Bank of America here. When you're ready to buy some gold, you come in, we transfer the money from your account into our account when you're buying from us, and you walk right across the lobby and you put it in your safety deposit box. It never leaves the building for security reasons.
Right.
But then when you go to sell it, you go into your safety deposit box, you bring it across the hall,
and sell it,
and we transfer the money right back into your account. There's no cash. There's no checks to worry about.
Right.
It's instant, and so that's one of the ways we do a lot of business with a lot of people. And that way you're not walking around the streets with $100,000 worth of gold or whatever you're buying or less. But so there is a time in which I do tell people, put it in a safety deposit box. Some people, they think I got a big gun safe in my house. Well, the easiest way to open a gun is with a piece of lead about that big. It's in a gun, and they put it to your head and they say, open your safe.
Right.
So if you've got a safe, make sure it's buried in concrete floors and nobody knows it's there.
Right.
Including the person who sold you the safe. So there are some caveats to having a safe in your home.
Right.
You can take gold and silver, put it in a PVC pipe, seal the ends, bury it under a concrete slab, and nobody will know the difference. As long as you don't live on the water and it sinks.
Kind of like John Wick.
There you go. One of my favorite
that
movies.
Movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right on, Faith. I like that. That was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll like that. Yeah.
So, Bill, we kind of talked about a few points. 3 of them were why buy gold, how to buy it, and where to buy it. So could you kind of take our audience through that and
Sure.
give us a brief rundown?
Okay.
I think
why
it's very
buy gold?
important.
We've talked a little bit about already. We are dealing with $22 trillion in deficits. The U.S. dollar, which is the reserve currency right now of the world, is on question. By a lot of countries who are tired of bowing down to the U.S. dollar, tired of supporting our treasury bills, which our debt gets bigger and bigger.
Right.
Interest rates at ridiculously low levels, considering the debt that we're covering.
Right.
If the credit rating of you or me was based on what the deficit of our deficits, as the government, they would have to charge you 40% interest on your to take a loan out from them. That you're talking about pawn shop kind of things.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why buy gold? We got a dollar that's about ready, I believe, to collapse or at least go down significantly.
Right.
And the truth is, we don't want it to go higher as this condition as it cost us. It makes us harder. The more valuable our dollar, the harder it is to sell goods overseas. So what happens is everything we own goes up in value, and the trade balance gets weird, and people don't buy anything from our companies because it's too expensive.
Too expensive
so
for them.
The dollar to go down in value is good and it's bad.
Right.
Okay?
There's
the way to
lot
protect
of,
yourself is to own gold. And gold is the only real financial money in the world. And it has no IOUs attached to it when you hold it in your hand. When you hold an ounce of gold in your hand, that's real money. That's the only the currency. All has IOUs attached to it. So
right, true.
And so that one of the things that we say is always take delivery of your gold. Don't let somebody else hold it. Never go on margin to buy gold or precious metals. A lot of people will try to sell you gold. Hey, we can double. You can get twice as much gold. Just put it on margin with us. We'll hold the gold. You just send us those monthly checks. And
do not do that,
do
folks.
Not do that,
Do not
folks.
buy gold on margin.
Buy
ever.
what you can afford and what you can afford to hold onto. Don't buy gold or silver or precious metals with money that you're going to need tomorrow.
Right.
Third of all, know who you're dealing with. Know your dealer, and that's not a hard thing to find out anymore. It used to be, the world was kind of a closed. Who's that person? Who's that? And it took you more time to figure it out. Today, you can find out everything instantly on the internet, and you can educate yourself on the internet, and you can know who your dealer is. And one of the things that we tell everybody is there's 300 basically 300 top dealers in the world, known as the Professional Numismatist Guild. These dealers have substantial net worth. They have to abide by arbitration boards. They have to guarantee everything they sell for their lifetime. They can't, if somebody buys something from us, turns out to be not genuine 25 years later, we are obligated
to make it good.
Wow. And under the Professional Numismatist Guild, the PNG, they've recently come up with a branch out of that. As PNG members, we could join and become accredited precious metals dealers. This is what this is all about. It's a brochure on accredited precious metals dealers that are members of the Professional Numismatist Guild. If you're dealing with a PNG dealer who's a member of the accredited precious metals dealers, you're dealing with some of the top people in the world. We've been a member of the PNG for almost 40 years, as well as life members of many other organizations. And so that covers the know who you're dealing with. And then, of course, educate yourself. Get online, do some research yourself, find out, and then why do I buy gold? Well, we've discussed that. We know that there's a lot of reasons, and the old golden rule was those that have the gold make the rules. And when the house of cards start coming down, like they're going, what's happening in Venezuela right now, the people that bought gold in Venezuela are actually coming into our offices now. Every week we have somebody from Venezuela coming in and saying, I'm so thankful that I had some gold coins and I was able to get out of Venezuela with some of my wealth. And,
well, Venezuela is a really good example of socialism and communism that doesn't work, people. Excuse me. Socialism and communism have never worked in the history of the world. I really hope that the Democrats and liberals who are watching this are listening carefully. Oh, did I tell you I pretty much get to say whatever I want? It's my show.
What I want to do is I want to say, because Bill is associated and the certifications that this man has is incredible. I have run, and we spoke about this prior to the show, is all the phony, fabricated fraud coins and bars that I have actually had that.
Yes, you were telling us about that.
Please explain
before
to the public about that. This is the why you go to someone like Bill.
Yes, and you need to listen to this very carefully because there are scam artists out there. They try to scam John. They try to scam Bill, and you can't get anything past these guys. So, please.
Yep. Several countries manufacture gold coins today and silver coins. And the reason why we tout these as opposed to big gold bars is because they're much harder to fabricate a phony. Gold has a specific gravity that's practically unique. And the other thing is that these coins can be bought in as little as a 1/10 of an ounce size. So you can buy a gold eagle at 1/10 to 1 ounce. Once you get into some of the bigger bars, 10-ounce gold bars, 100-ounce kilo bars, and everything else, they're much easier to drill into, add some tungsten steel to, things like that. Now, we have testers. A nice thing about the precious metals today is that we have testers that are better than anything we ever had in years past. Like I said, I've been doing this over 50 years, and 50 years ago we would have had to drill into a bar and see what was in the middle. Now we have guns and machines that we can just point it at the thing and we know what's in it.
Wow.
So that's a good thing, and we can
cool.
and we can put a coin on our testers right in front of our customers and show them, hey, there it is, tests perfectly good. You see. So, and the nice thing is you can buy it in all different sizes. So you can teach your kids to save money by
I love this.
By coming
so
in.
Cool.
I did this with my kids, and I've done it with many kids of our customers' kids. And that is, instead of giving them $100 for their birthday, give them $50 and say you'll double it if they'll take the other $50 and go in and buy some silver or a 10th-ounce gold coin or something that they've saved up. And you help them to learn to save money by saving gold, real money, silver and gold, and you'll be amazed. They'll catch on to it because in a bank they can't associate. It's not tangible. They can't touch it. But you get your children holding one of these silver eagles or a gold coin, and they won't put it down. They will create their own little treasure chest somewhere. They will put that in there, and the next time they get $10, they'll be pull on you to come on down to see me or your coin dealer and say, I want to get another one. And I watched my children do that from about age 8 years old on. And when one of my kids was 16 years old, believe it or not, he had gotten himself a job when he was 14. So he'd run down by the time he was 16, he had over $40,000 saved up.
How did he do that?
He
That's
did it
crazy.
by every single time he got. Instead of going down and buying another video game or junk, he would go and.
And he watched it.
Of course, he was close to me, but I have a lot of customers that come in and they say, well, I'm picking out something for my son, and they'll pick out fun things. Instead of getting the same, maybe they won't get a silver eagle, they'll get a silver maple leaf, or a koala bear from Australia, or a Chinese panda, but they're all 1 ounce silver, And so they have a host of maybe 20, 30 different coins. Or they'll start collecting these by date, and they'll have a whole collection of these from 1986 to the current. Every year they get the new date.
So that would be considered a collectible.
I have a client right now who puts together a 1 ounce gold eagle for his grandchild. The grandchild's not even 10 years old yet, but when that grandchild's 20, he's going to have quite a few of these that his grandfather has put aside one each date for him,
Wow.
So there's a lot of reasons to own gold, and it can be a lot of fun. We also deal in rare coins. We've built collections for people all over the world, and I mean, I was just telling somebody the other day, I was showing them a picture of a check that a man by the name of Audrey Beebe wrote in 1967 for what was then a world record price for a nickel. A 1913 nickel in 1967. I was at the auction sale when this man bought that coin for $46,000. Recently, there's only 5 of those nickels. Recently, one sold for almost $5 million. So rare coins can be an excellent investment also. And
wonderful hard
we deal
asset.
in all these kind of hard assets. You can build a magnificent collection of coins, enjoy the art, the history, the beauty of these things, and actually watch them go up. But again, it has to be done correctly with educating yourself, allowing your dealer, if he doesn't sit down and educate you on these things, then forget about collecting, just buy the pure gold and forget about it. But there's a lot of ways you can own hard assets and participate in a tremendous store of wealth and the ability to pass on a piece of some of your wealth without anybody knowing about it.
Exactly.
So that's kind of, a lot of people like that too, that this goes from my safety deposit box to my grandson or something like that.
And nobody has a clue.
And Bill guarantees all his stuff. So if you have all your documentation, then your coin, Bill, please, that's important.
Yeah, explain that, because
come right back.
We were talking about that before the show too, how important that is.
Everything is guaranteed genuine by us, and we've had the privilege of buying and selling the same coins back and forth to clients for over 50 years, and we look forward to being able to not just sell it to somebody, but to also have the opportunity to buy it back. And I don't really want to sell you anything that I wouldn't want to buy back. I'm not looking to get rid of my problems on you. I can wholesale those off to other people, but I can sell the things I want to see. So we have a way of doing that, and have been doing that for so many years, that it also gives me a constant supply of coins coming back to us, which are quite hard to get sometimes.
Wow.
I just spent 3 hours on an auction in Barcelona, Spain today, trying to buy some coins for my collection and for clients and things like that. And you can do that electronically. I used to have to fly to Spain and to Switzerland and all over the world to buy these coins. And now I sit on the internet
much faster.
and it's all instantaneous. I just click a button, I'm bidding on that, and people all over the world are bidding on these coins, So, and I'm seeing things still going for record prices because people want the rare coins, the rarities and things.
Yeah.
And you should visit we have a museum. My personal collection is actually a virtual free museum online at hometowncurrency.org. It's the largest collection
currency
of Florida money ever assembled, and it's the most complete collection of Florida money from our colonial times to our territorial times to our statehood, all the way into modern times. And we've got representations of every kind of currency that was ever produced by the state of Florida. And a lot of people don't know that we actually, as states, produced produced banknotes and stuff. So I didn't take too much time, but that's
that's
go on our site,
fabulous.
hometowncurrency.org. Educate yourself. Have your children see that they can learn so much and outsmart their teachers when they get to school.
That.
Find out. Did you know that
Money.
Florida, the state of Florida had its own currency during the Civil War years?
It's so important.
We can also go to William Youngerman inc.com. Is that right?
Just WilliamYoungerman.com.
WilliamYoungerman.com.
Or Youngermans.com.
Okay, or Youngermans.com. And the phone number is 800-327-5010. That's 800-327-5010. Go see Bill. You can't go see John. That's my friend. They're both my friends now.
And if you're out of the state, we have an 800 number nationwide, 800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010.
That's it.
Oh, that's 800. You did give the number. I'm sorry.
Of course
that's
I
right,
did.
800. No, I was thinking of his local number.
Gentlemen, thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. I really, really appreciate it. They're going to come back when gold goes up over $1,450 an ounce, $1,450 an ounce, and I am excited. Hopefully our economy won't tank, but just in that case, folks, you need to go see Bill and buy some gold and silver now. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook, The Faith Washington Show. We are live on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Thank you, folks. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye. You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.